Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip-hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot7025fm.com.
It's your main man 360 the Poet from the Morning Wood. And are you looking for the perfect drink? Well, you found it. Mimosa Royale is the perfect combination of California sparkling white wine and natural juice that is both tasty and refreshing. No artificial colors or flavors, no sugar added, and it's gluten-free. As the world's first ready-to-drink mimosa, Mimosa Royale is perfect for any occasion, day or night. You no longer have to drink 12 of those seltzers just to get that perfect buzz. At 8% alcohol, Mimosa Royale is the perfect drink to party with. Offered in a variety of flavors and sizes, you are bound to find a Mimosa Royale that you'll love. We have berry, mango, apple, and orange, with more flavors to come. Mimosa Royale is the most award-winning flavored wine that serves in bottles or cans. You can find them online at drinkmimosa.com or find them at your local liquor store. Ask for it by name. Mimosa Royale.
Hey, it's Icarice, and I'm here to tell you about Hotcast for Podcasting. We are a podcasting studio located in Las Vegas, Nevada, in the Hot 702.5 FM studios. You can book online at hot7025fm.com. Just click on Hotcast. You can book and find your times right there. Thank you for booking with Hotcast for Podcasting.
Hi. Hey. What's up?
All your favorite artists.
Check it out. Say my name. DJ Khaled.
This is Mila J.
Bruno Mars.
On hot7025fm.com.
What's going on, everybody? It's your main man 360 the Poet from the Morning Wood, and I'm here to talk to you about the Sci-Fi Center. It's your Vegas home for science fiction, horror, and fantasy. From comic books, toys, and posters to movie screenings and live events, they've got you covered. Located at 900 Cameron Avenue, Suite B209. Give them a call, 702-900-4335, or reach them at thescificenter.com.
No, I didn't even know, but y'all know what it is. Y'all know what we doing. What's happening, y'all? It's hump day. Time to holla at the homie. Holla at the homie. He's got that gear still on deck. Hit me at hollaatthehomie@gmail.com. That's HOLLATTATHOMIE@gmail.com. But we also got the hollaatthehomie.com in the works. So we do got our own little personal email. I'm sorry. What's that? A website director going on right over there. Shout out to Pammy C in that building. Pammy C out there making my website come to life. But what's up, y'all? Y'all know what it is. It's Wednesday. So it's your number one day to get your number one advice column, whether online or in person. So that's what we doing right here at Holla at the Homie, right here on hot7025fm.com. And if you're online watching, you can be watching us either on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube. We used to have it over there on FB, but FB was effing around with how we keep our stuff stored. So we had to kind of keep doing our thing elsewhere to keep that thing rolling like we do right here at hot7025fm.com. The hottest station in all of the land, located right here in Viva Las Vegas. Over here, you know how we do it. Yeah. Let me get a little sip of this here. There we go. Get a little agua. Get my grown man on. My grown man voice is happening. There it is. Got a little deep on him right there one time. But you know what's happening, y'all. We right here on hot7025fm.com, and this is where we come to talk about and get it all out, where I say again, I like to give my disclaimer. I've never been trained in any way, shape, form, or fashion in any psychology or psychiatry or even counseling of any sort. Now, I've been to those things. I've been to counselors, been to psychologists, never a psychiatrist, but I've been to two of the three, but I've never been trained in their discipline. But what I have done is I've lived a life. What's up, Charles Shelby? I have done a lot. I have lived a life. You know what I mean? And that's what we do. What's up, the QC mama? And through that colorful life that I've lived, I've been able to sponge up some game, right? And through that game that I'm sponging up, I'm able to squeeze it back out here to y'all as we answer your questions that you send into the holla at the homie at gmail.com to get answered right now, or you can send it in the Hot 7025 FM. What's going on, Baubles by E? But this is what we do, so I'm going to get into the letter in just a minute. And like I said, we read these letters, or whether you know my phone number, you text me. If you got my email, you send it to me direct. But you can always send it to holla@thehomie@gmail.com. It's just this person right here did. So it goes a little something like this. Dear Holla at the Homie, I've got a situation that's been weighing on me heavy, and I'm hoping y'all can help a homie out. Now, this coworker of mine, let's call him D. D is honestly dope as hell. Cool energy, smart, funny, always has the best music playing in his headphones, and actually makes the workday enjoyable. Now, we vibe, and I could easily see us hanging outside of work too. But here's the thing. D has a serious issue with personal hygiene. Now, I'm talking persistent body odor, breath that can knock over a cactus, and clothes that look like they've been through a few rough chapters in life. Now, it's been bad enough that people have started cracking jokes behind his back, and I hate that because dude doesn't deserve that. He's just not aware, or at least I hope it's not that, and it's not a deeper issue. So now I'm stuck in this awkward moral limbo. Do I say something? How do I tell him that, he's cool, but he got a hell of a smell like an abandoned gym bag, without crushing the spirit or making it feel awkward forever? Or do I stay quiet, keep dodging the funk cloud, and let the office whispers continue? Help a homie out. I'm trying to keep it real, but I also don't want to be the bad guy. Sincerely, conflicted but considerate in the cubicle. Woo, conflicted but considerate in the cubicle. What's up, C? What's going on with you, Livia Too Smooth, John Hayward? Man, this is one that some of us have faced from a time or two in our lives. I do believe that. I do believe that this is something that we all have gone through in one way, shape, form, or fashion, right? We've done something in regards to being able to kind of like, hey, I smell you over here, homie. Yo, partner, I smell what you're going through over here. And, but have you been encouraging enough to say like, hey, make sure y'all sharing the live out there. But have you been encouraging enough to say, hey, let me pull you to the side real quick, partner. What's up, Deidre Minor? Yeah, have you been able to say like, hey, let me pull you over to the left side or pull you to the right side? Because this is a real situation. If this odor is coming off and people are starting to whisper and things like that behind this person's back, then how is it that no one has manned up, womaned up, personed up, and said anything to this individual? How do we continue to walk around knowing that they got our eyes watering? This is a real serious situation. You know what I mean? It's like, this one comes from a real one because he got the nerve to at least to say, hey, at least you pulled yourself to the side and said, hey, I'm going to talk to somebody about trying to talk to this person about this offensive smell that they got going on. And if you're willing enough to say something to me about it, then now you've got a first step. You got a first step to kindly coming to the plate and saying, hey, I need to talk to you, homie. Yo, D, since you're going to call him D, you don't want to give his real name out. We'll say D. We're going to keep it as that because you know who we talking to. You'd be like, it's a coworker, and it sounds like he the MVP of the office. It sounds as if this person, D, is the number one. He's smart. So that means you sat and talked to him in some length of time. You said this in your letter. You say he's smart. You say he's cool energy, meaning like he's super chill. So in other words, you spent time around him long enough to say that he's not aggressive or anything along those lines, or at least you didn't put it in here. You said he's funny. These are things that you use. These are words that you use to describe this individual. So that means you've spent time in length with him. So those are missed opportunities. What's up, Popo? These are missed opportunities where you didn't get a chance to say, hey, my man, like, bruh, what is the cologne you wearing? You know what I mean? You can find a way. It's many ways. You got to kind of RTR, read the room, right? What up, James Sharp? You got to read the room in a way to say like, yo, man, let me pull you to the side. Or maybe you haven't been in the opportunity where it's just y'all too. That's another question. Because, as I'm going to talk to you a little later about how to handle this, you got to make sure that the situation is correct before you present this, to your homie, to your partner at work, your work buddy. Because you said it seems like you wouldn't mind hanging out. You could see y'all hanging out outside of work too, meaning y'all got some commonalities. So you've got an in already. You've already got an in to have that conversation with him. So now, how do you kick that into gear? How do you say, like, hey, my man, like, hey, let me pull up to the bumper home, man, because you stink. You smell like a wet mop, dog. You said he smelled like an abandoned gym bag. Everybody know how bad a gym bag smell if you have not tended to it and washed the things that were inside it. Even if it's a towel that you can sweat wipe with. If that's still in there, then you in trouble, because then that means you got some things festering. So if this person, you said you hope it's not a deeper issue as well. So you've had multiple opportunities to find these things out based off your letter alone. You said he's smart, chill, great taste in music. That right there, if you think you enjoy his music, then why can't you sit and say, like, hey, that's a good song, bruh. While we on the subject of songs, and that's a funky kick, that's a funky jam, however you want to talk about it. What up, Peter, sister? However you want to talk about it. That's a funky jam. That's a way you can break yourself in and be like, speaking of funky, there's windows of opportunity that have been missed, because he's not just an all-around good guy. Y'all vibe together. So there's a cloud hanging over him, literally or metaphorically. He may walk around looking like Pigpen. What's up, Ife Felix? He may walk around and there's dust floating around him. There's gnats following him. I don't know the whole situation. But if he stank that bad to the point where the people at work are whispering, girl, did you hear, man? You smell, old boy. Like, if everybody's talking behind his back, then why has no one, especially you, Mr. Or Miss Conflicted but considerate in the cubicle, why has no one had the guts to go talk to this gentleman about that? To let him know, like, hey, man, not to push you off the wrong way, but I don't really know what's going on with what I'm smelling when you walk by. Sometimes people walk by and they may fart. You know what I mean? Like, if they fart, you know who it was that farted. They crop dusted the area, right? You know who the crop dusters are, right? But now, if this person is a constant manure duster, if he smell like somebody's front yard when they trying to grow the grass, then that is a conversation to be had. We're talking body odor, dragon breath, and clothes that look like they've been through a few different, tussles in life, right? This is what you said. There's a few plot twists too many that his life has been going through in regards to his smell. And the person who wrote this it's clear that you're a thoughtful person. So let's get that off my chest at first. Let me tell you, it's not saying you're an inconsiderate asshole. Because I know you feel bad for allowing other people to sit and let people talk about him in the background. But my question to you, I hope that you haven't contributed to that conversation. There's a way for people to talk to you and ask you, man, you smell, old boy? You can make a face and not say anything, What's up, yay? You can just, say anything or without saying anything. But you have to be willing to say, like, hey, man, like, let me holler at you, bro. This is what I call a compassionate confrontation. Because you have to have that first thing. What's up, Stanley Painter? You have to have compassion when approaching this. Meaning you got to put your foot in his shoes, not literally because apparently he stank, but metaphorically, put yourself in his shoes. Say something to him, about this. Like, if this were you, would you want this to continue in that direction about you behind your back? Or he may have heard some of the whispers and just don't know exactly how to address it because nobody's really sat him down and dissected the issue with him, right? That's the thing. It is one of those moments where the universe is on your shoulder like, hey, bruh, or hey, sis, I'm not going, anything. I don't know who this is, whatever. Hey, it's on you, baby. You the one with the emotional intelligence to handle this because you brought it to me. You've brought it to me, and now you bringing it to me lets me know that you are willing to jump in the fire and at least try to find an answer for this. So you have been chosen by the universe, by God, however you feel as if your message has been delivered to you. You've been chosen to be the one to deliver this message to this person because you care enough to try to find a way to say what's happening. You know what I mean? What's up, TLA08? Like, you've cared enough to say, hey, how do I address this because you said you don't want to be the bad guy. You said, help a homie out. I'm trying to keep it real, but I also don't want to be the bad guy. That's how you ended your letter. You know, this is a eat your cake and still have it type thing in some ways, but it's also a yin and a yang. Like, you don't have to be the bad guy because it's not about the message. It's about the delivery. I always say that. What's up, Bianca J? It's always about the delivery, not about the message. Now, within the message, it's got to make sense. That's one thing. You can't just go over there and people don't understand and get your point. What is the point? Somebody may ask you. But you have to be able to say, like, hey, you know what I mean? Like, let it be known, like, this is how I'm feeling about our situation. You know, you got to speak up, bruh. You got to speak up because this is your assignment. What's up, Hey Jay? This is your assignment to be able to let this person know your hygiene is offensive, but without saying it in a bad way. How do you do that? You know, nobody likes being the bearer of bad news. Nobody likes being the one to tell somebody some bad-ish didn't happen, right? What's up, Mr. and Mrs. Hadnot? Nobody wants to be the one to say, like, hey, and tell you, like, this is what people been saying behind your back. But again, put your feet in their shoes metaphorically and ask yourself, would you want to know if people were talking ish behind your back? What's up, Omega? What's up, Deep Garby? Would you want to know that? Because I would. Sign me up for the ones that want to know. Y'all make sure y'all sharing that live. Y'all sign me up with the ones, sign me up for the people that want to know. I want to know. I'm not singing the song with Mario. I don't want to know. Yes, I want to know. If I'm stinking and burning up your nose, I want to know. Don't keep it on the low. Tell me the truth, Ruth. So how do you, and apparently you feel the same way in some capacity because you're trying to figure out how to tell this brother he's stanking up the office. Because you kept it conflicted but considerate in the cubicle. That's how you signed your name. You conflicted. You trying to say, man, I don't want to be the bad guy, but I'm tired of this smell. If the room smelled different when somebody walk in, they don't know it. They don't know that the room smells differently. That's the thing. They carry that much aroma that he may not even know that he stank because that's his norm. That's his norm. If you think back to school, in elementary school, you knew the kids that peed in the bed because they smelled like it. And it didn't smell like it to them because that was their norm. So he may have something else physical going on. What's up, Sherry Garnett? What's up, Deborah Pearson? He may have something else physical going on. And he may not even be aware that his aroma is emoting that much. I've been a victim of my own cologne spray sometime. Like the thing was turned the wrong direction. So now I'm sprayed into my hand. But I've wasted a spray. I try to rub it on my clothes and do all that, but it didn't spray the way I needed it to. I'm trying to walk through the mist. So now I'm over cologned in my nose. It's offensive to me because it's not my norm to be over cologned. So that in instance is a way for people to tell when things smell differently around them. But if he always smells like this, that's his norm. That's how he moves. That's how he smells. So he doesn't know that his scent is offensive. He doesn't know his aroma is that pronounced because that's what he walks in. That's the cloud that's over this situation, but that's how he walks in that. I'd rather have one uncomfortable conversation, and that with somebody who respects me than to walk around unknowingly pushing people away with my funk. I don't want my smell to be that offensive to where I push people away. Whether it's an over cologne, whether it's a body odor, whether it's my breath, I would not want to be the person to emote that much aroma to where it's pushing other people away. Like, y'all seen the commercials? Y'all know how the cartoons are. Or get around a baby. What's up, Papa Midnight 01? Get around a baby. A baby will tell you the truth. A kid, they'll tell you if you stink, ooh, you stink. And they faces, they face frown up. Man, I know y'all done seen it all online. The internet don't lose. The babies will tell you in a heartbeat, ooh, you stink. And mean it from the bottom of their spirit. Like, you stink, dog. And you may not even know. What's up, Dak? What's up, Dak on Dakari Kofi over here on the TikTok side of things? I got you on there. That's what's up, homie. But that's it. You got to be able to say, like, hey, but show it with, deliver this message with empathy, like the way you would want to receive this message. Because nobody wants to be told that they stanking. They don't want stanking up the joint, right? Nobody wants to be told that. So with that being said, how do you go about being the one to deliver the message without making somebody feel depressed or down about how to, damn, like, I don't know how long I've been walking around smelling like this, because that's how you handle it. So first thing you do, step one, is you got to check your intention. What do I mean by that? Check yourself before you wreck yourself or the whole situation. What way you wrote in this letter is clear, right? Say these things. You care. Show it with care. You're not trying to clown D, or you're not trying to come at him sideways. You actually want to help. Ultimately, your whole goal is to help him. That is your whole goal. What's up, Amzo1418? That's your whole goal, to help your homeboy at work, because you enjoy his presence. The way you talk about him, you say he's funny, he's creative, he's cool, and you can see y'all hanging outside of work. It's a whole lot of ways one can take that friendship. It's one that you actually consider and care about, right? It's one that you say, hey, dog, I care about you, and I want to be able to say, hey, my man, like, I want to kick it with you, but you stink. But you have to handle it with care. So check yourself and don't wreck yourself. Meaning, do it in a way that's not sideways. Like, man, you stinking ass. You know what I mean? Don't get to clown anybody nowhere to hope he gets some clarity, or don't wait till he say something sideways so you can tell. I've been wanting to tell your stinking ass something. Because that's usually how it come out. Through anger or frustration, or through liquor, the truth come out. When you're mad, the truth is spoken. When you're drunk, the truth is spoken. So don't let it be that, because a lot of times those come off like knives. That's cutting. That's harsh. Very, 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 very harsh, right? How do you do it without being a knifer, without stabbing them? So first thing first, you got to find the right moment after you've checked yourself. Find the right moment to say, hey, man, like, timing is everything. You got to remember that. Timing is everything. You don't want to be at your desk in front of the middle of a meeting, or, you know what I mean? Or, and definitely not in front of anybody else that's been talking about him behind his back. That's what you don't want to do. That's like telling your ex-girlfriend something going on in your new relationship. That's taboo. Ooh, because they can use that as ammunition. They can use that as, well, let me tell you, girl, you've been telling me all about y'all business. That's like doing something like that. So you definitely don't want to do this around somebody who's been speaking ill behind his back. Because you may have to include them names in the conversation. He be like, who been talking about me? He be like, I don't want to say. Be like, nah, man, I ain't listening to you. You tell me what else, you've been talking about me. And it's a way you can maneuver around that as well, because you may not be, because if it's coming to me, I'd be like, you ain't telling you nothing. Well, I just can stop talking to you. I'll stop talking to you about this subject. If you want to keep walking around funky, I'll let you. That's when it'll get to something like that with me. But, as I'm evaluating this letter, I'm trying to help you understand different ways to kind of ease into it, right? How do you ease into this conversation? Maybe you can do it because apparently y'all hang out. Maybe y'all do happy hour from time to time, right? Or maybe y'all hang out in the lunchroom together. I don't know how it is, your eating situation at the gig. But if you say you're in the cubicle, then I'm pretty sure y'all got a lunchroom and y'all probably take lunch around the same time. Or, or maybe y'all go off site or something to, one of the local little restaurants. I don't want to name anybody out unless they trying to sponsor it, brother. Maybe y'all go out to eat. This is an opportunity at lunch when y'all vibing. It's all about when y'all vibing, right? Because you don't want to bring this up abruptly and be like, well, where did this come from? Out of left field. What'd you say? 2024 started the year off with truth. Cat Williams interviewed Puffy's baby oil and people not washing. And that's it. People not washing their body. That's been in the news a whole lot. Like, not in the news, but on the internet a whole lot. How people don't bathe every day. And they've got their proponents on one side or the other, and they say things. That's a good point there, Dakari. They have their proponents like, well, if you wash every day, you're washing away certain bacteria that's good for you that helps fight off other sicknesses. No, sir, no, ma'am. I'm sorry. You can say that all you want to, but if you ain't washing on a regular, you know what I mean? Like if you at the crib and you chilling and you don't have anywhere to go and you just in there, you be a pajama day all day sometimes. You can get you a couple of them. What's up, Lulu Tally? You know what I mean? Be a pajama day all day. It's okay to have a pajama day all day sometimes. Bathe later on that night. You don't want to get too soury grapes. That's one thing you don't want. You don't want to smell like pickles. You don't want your feet to smell like pickles. You don't want your neck to smell like sour grapes. You don't want any of that because that means that your skin is got a little layer on it, a little layer of ooh on it. You got a little ooh layer on your skin. So if that's what's happening, then you got to be more cognizant of washing because that ain't letting the good bacteria stay nowhere. That's creating festering bacteria. And that's what you got to understand. It's not always about like, oh, you got good bacteria. Nah, man, wash your ass. I don't care what you say. Bathe on the daily. And if everybody not doing that, stop not doing that. Like I say, it's okay to get you an off day. You've been chilling at the crib. Like I said, it's a pajama all day. You got an off day. You ain't going nowhere. It's snowing outside, raining outside. You ain't got to see anybody. It's okay to have a day like that or two even sometimes if you're on vacation. It's all right, but you need to, I wouldn't recommend. One wouldn't recommend, for the better health options, that you go beyond that 48-hour bathing period, if you chilling at the crib, even if you chilling at the crib. Now, if you going outside every day, you need to wash your ass every day. I'm sorry. Bathe. Because if you're going outside, you bringing in other bacteria from outside. That's going to be all on your skin. Then you putting that all in your bed. You're doing all these things. Like, I don't want to introduce anything that's not clean into my bed, right? What's up, Jay Bryan? I don't want to introduce anything that's dirty or all day into my bed. That's just me. Everybody does not shower before they go to bed. That's on you. You probably got a little back acne or something, you know what I mean, after you've been in there, because once you shower after laying in yesterday's nasty sweatness. Exactly. Lulu Tally said, I don't sit on my bed unless I'm showered. What's up, BB2048? Lulu Tally said, I don't sit on my bed unless I'm showered. BB, share my live on TikTok too. That's what I'm about to say. So, like, I don't sit on my bed either with my all-day clothes. I cannot do it. I don't want to introduce any of that dirtiness to where I'm about to lay my head, lay my body, probably be naked with my woman. Like, I don't want to be anywhere near any of that that's going to be part of dirty. So if I'm been in my clothes all day or if I've been running around all day, I'm getting my ass in the shower before I lay down. Appreciate you, BB. I'm getting my ass in the shower before I lay down. What up, Pimpin' Ken 11? That's the thing, man. You got to be able to wash yourself before you lay it down. That's one part of where people don't understand. And then some people have to get up real quick and be like, oh, I'm just head on out. We had somebody stay over at our crib one time, and they had a flight the next day. I'm not going to say any names. It was, not going to say whose coworker it was, but we had somebody stay over at the crib one day, right? One night. What's up, Professor BB? And they got up the next morning, and they just hopped up, ate an apple, and boned out. They just left. They just left the crib and ain't showered. They got in the night before. They ain't showered the night before because we set out. Like, I'm the type of person, if you come to my crib, I'm going to set out like a washcloth, all that kind of stuff for you. Fresh, clean, all that. All that. You mess around, got soap and everything at my house. Body wash, all that. A loofah, depending on how long you coming to stay. Everything is out. So I know you didn't. We know they didn't shower that night of. No, they didn't shower that night of because they came in. We were laughing, ha ha he he, and they went to bed before we even went to bed, right? And they get up the next morning. We up before they up, and they just come out the room, already dressed, eating an apple, and just left and got on the plane. And we looked at each other like, you got to be kidding me. You absolutely have to be kidding me. And they were going to meet somebody of the opposite sex to meet up for like a date. So that means in 24 hours, you have not washed between your legs not one time, and you going to spread them for somebody? You nasty. Yeah, I'm going to say it out loud. You're nasty. I'm going to just say that out loud. Even if you're a dude, for 24 hours, you done walked around and, ain't bathed, ain't nothing, unless they into that. Some people, they say OBJ would tell his girl, don't shower for 48 hours. I want you to come over here and doo-doo on me. That's his nasty ass. But I'm talking about the average bear. Like, even a dude, if you rolling around for 24 hours plus and you about to go try to get it in, you want somebody to suck on that little stanky ass thing? Boy, if you don't go wash that, wipe me down. Wipe that thing down, dog. You understand what I'm saying? What's up? We are better together. Wipe that thing down, dog. That's my whole thing. Everybody need to give their respect to the person they going to meet up with. If you out here already, you can't just expect them to just, munch your box and you ain't tightened up inside that thing. Would you say you have a practice manager at a lot of my clinics that she makes my eyes water? I cry when she wants a one-on-one meeting. And that's the thing. I get that, Pimpin' Ken 11. That's disrespectful that your scent is that aggressive to where people don't even want to be around you. Like, I hate having to be within close proximity, closed off with this person in the same space. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's like Lulu Talley said, we talked about we don't sit on the bed without washing our tail. Like, none of that. That's just typical in people who have good hygiene practices life, right? But if you one of those ones that's just out here like just willy-nilly just stanking up the joint, you know what I mean? If you out here just stanking up the joint, again, you may not know that your scent is that aggressive because it's your norm. It's your norm. That's what you do on a regular. So you walking around like little Pigpen. You walking around like, y'all remember Charlie Brown? Y'all remember the Peanuts gang? Pigpen had dust and flies flying all around him everywhere he went. But everybody knew Pigpen was dirty. Why ain't nobody tell Pigpen to wash his ass? Because I can see if it's just dirt, you might just be a dusty kid. You play in the dirt. But Pigpen had flies and dirt. Why ain't nobody tell Pigpen go take a bath? Why? See, this is what conflicted but considerate in the cubicle is trying to find a way to eliminate their friend, Mr. Pigpen. They call him D. They call this person D. Somebody need to tell D, you need to go wash that D. Making your eyes water and you can't see. That's it. 5,000 taps, y'all. Everybody, let's go. Let's tap them in. But what you say? You calling people out, Lulu? It's the right thing to do. Like, that's like, if I see you and you got a booger in your nose, I'm going to tell you have a booger in your nose. If we're around other people, I need you to watch how I'm moving. If you see me keep doing this, You see me keep hitting that with that thumb? I need you. I need you to be like, hey, maybe he's telling me, my friend is trying to tell me something. If I keep hitting my nose with that thumb, I'm not trying to tell you we need cocaine. I'm trying to tell you got a dangler. I'm trying to tell you got a dangler on your nose. So this is the right, exactly, Lulu Tally. It's the right thing to do. Not just for them, for your psyche. What's up, Faith Works? Happy birthday, home girl. Faith Works 100 in the building. Chi-Town's finest. It's my home girl. But that's the right thing to do. If somebody is around you and they stanking up the joint, you gotta find a way to tell them. Remember, my step one said, check yourself, don't wreck yourself. Make sure that your tone and the way you deliver this message is not offensive to the person you're trying to deliver it to, right? Exactly. Everybody send me it's in your heart to 360. I appreciate that, BB. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. You got to be able to say hey, bruh, with the right tone. Because I always say it's not about the message. It's about the delivery. It's about the delivery, right? My analogy is, you can get a box from Amazon and a box from UPS. Same thing. They may get there the same day, but if UPS drop it off on your porch and Amazon chuck it, it's not the same. The contents inside are rattled. That's like you delivering this message to this man and you got him rattled now. So you got to deliver it to him, sit him down, talk to this man, be like, hey, D, bro, I'm just, again, it's about your tone. So check your intention, right? And then you have to find the right moment. We talked about timing is everything. You definitely don't want to do it in front of everybody. But my thing is, when you delivering this message, you want to lead it with love. Give a compliment sandwich. You know how people give a compliment sandwich where it's a good thing on one end, the BS in the middle, and another good thing on the other end. Lead with love. That's kind of the best way to deliver bad news. In a compliment sandwich, but you got to have your back end ready because you got to find a way to end this lettuce, tomato, peach cheese, tomato, potato. You got to, you name it. You got to be able to find a way to get all that out and wrap it up, right? So have both your compliment sandwiches all ready together, right? Come to be like, yo, D, I don't want to come at you the wrong way, bro. That's kind of like order up. It's like letting you know this order is up. I wanted to tell you something, homie. There it is, homie. That's one side of your compliment sandwich. Let you know, because I respect you and I don't want to get you caught off guard. So now that's the bread. It's toasted. That's one side of that compliment sandwich. And then that's when you got to be like, but I've noticed sometimes there's a strange and strong odor. And I didn't know if you was aware of it. Maybe there's something going on health-wise. Right, that's all the meat, all the lettuce, all the cheese, right? So you had your compliment on the first side of it, I wanted to tell you something, homie, because I respect you and I don't want to get you caught off guard. That's the bread. But then you got to let him know, hey, man, I've been noticing this strong, pungent odor coming up off you, and it's offensive, in a way to people, not only me, but to others. And then on the back side of that, on the other side of that sandwich, I'd rather say something than to have folks whisper behind your back. So, boom, I got your back. I dig you. You the homie. But it's something going on in between here. Something's going on. Something going on in between there that we need to address. So that's how you lead with love in delivering this message. Which I don't know how to have this conversation with people because I was born with a disease called non-stinkinosis. I cried when I was a kid because I wanted to stink like the other kids. And that's the thing. Them other kids was probably peeing in the bed. And you didn't know. Shirley knew. Shirley knew. Big Ken knew. They was like, nah, them little kids, they smell like syrup. They smell like syrup, like old syrup. Means they got Roach Motels in their house and they probably peeing in the bed. You wanted to stink like them. Or that's like me wanting to have a Jerry curl. My mom was like, you're not getting it. Even though I had aunties who had them. I had two aunties that I loved to life, and both of them had curls. I wanted a curl. My mom was like, boy, your hair is different. It's different. She didn't say your hair is different. You can't get a curl, bro. My shit would have fell out. My hair would have been fell out everywhere. So it's like, I understand you wanted to stink like the other kids. You wanted to, but it just wasn't possible. Your parents wasn't allowing that. It's your upbringing, but you don't. It may be something going on with them people. They really I didn't realize halitosis and bad breath was two different things. Like halitosis is a condition to where it's like your breath, your mouth, your tongue, oh no, my mom wasn't having that. Your mouth, something in your mouth is delivering bacteria that is disgusting in smell. That's halitosis. Bad breath could be you ain't eat breakfast this morning, so now your stomach is eating what you had last night, which is now feces. So now that's what's coming out your mouth. I didn't realize that until later on in life. That, exactly, they need a prescription for halitosis. That's the thing. So this person may have halitosis of the body. Some people emote what they may have had something to drink. They may be trying to mask their alcoholism. It may be something physical going on with D. So again, you got to have this conversation with that compliment sandwich. Give him the good on both sides and the BS in the middle. That's the thing. That's where you get it at, right? You have to be able to have this conversation in a way, because it's not going away if nobody talks about it. If nobody discusses this, nobody knows the stinking ass elephant in the room. Nobody knows that this stinking elephant in the room. What do you say? If you stop eating carbs, your breath will stink at the beginning. If you stop eating carbs, see, that's the thing. That's another thing. People may not know these things, Pimpin' Candy 11. Stop eating carbs. I can't give up. I can if I wanted to, but I don't want to give up. I'm a bread eating ass. Bread, cheese, onions, all the things that stank, I eat. So that's why I make sure I got all the proper post-eat treatment. You won't catch me without no gum or mints within my arm's length distance. You will not. I do not. It just don't happen, Captain. So that's the thing. Some people are trained different. And I didn't know that about stop eating carbs. Maybe because, again, you might be like how some people, if they don't eat breakfast in the morning. I found out that one of my homegirls coming up, her breath stank because she ain't eat breakfast in the morning. She didn't have halitosis. She just wasn't eating breakfast. So now your stomach and everything coming out your belly is eating off what you had last. And if you ain't ate since last night, that's bile and bowels that's coming out your throat. Yeah, you got boo-boo breath because your breath is really boo-boo. I'm just IJS. Hashtag IJS. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm trying to deliver it with love, And that's the thing. Like, make sure you express that you only heard these things people were talking. I meant to tell you that. And not that you participated. Don't say that you spoke on it with anybody. Again, like I said, you probably said, get that look. It's okay to get that uncle look, that auntie look. Like, somebody ask you a question. I ain't the one to gossip. You ain't going to hear it from me. You give them that look. They can laugh like, oh, you already know. You ain't saying nothing, OG. Yeah, I don't have to say nothing. I know in my heart of hearts, this mofo stank. I know it, but I'm not about to get in y'all little petty ish. I'm not going to do it. Not if I, especially if I dig the person. You know what I mean? I'm not a talk behind your back person anyway, because I'm going to tell you. But then again, if I don't rock with you like that, I won't have as many opportunities to talk to you like that. But so it may come up in one of them, hey, watch yourself. I'm going to light that tail up. I'm going to light your ass up with a little funky, functified. So functified. If they walking around stinking, you got to let them know. Play that song. If he got good taste in music, you said the man had good taste in music, right? Bump that song. Bump the brat. Functified. So he will know, like, what's that song? Your theme music. That's your theme music. Hit me with my theme. You know how Deion say, hit me with my theme music. Boom, dum, dum. When this person walked through, it's so functified. If he funky, hit him with the funk. That funk, nothing turned me on. However his taste in music can apply, there's a song that go with funk. If you don't have one, Google it. Google funk rap song. Google funk blues song. Whatever type of music this man like. Exactly. Nothing but the funk. What's up, Chanel? What's up, Chanel, Monty? You know, this is the truth. If you got somebody at work, and Monty, I know we did have somebody at work like this, but if you got somebody at work, that's right, George Clinton. If you got somebody at work and they funky, find a song, find what kind of music they like. You find what kind of music they like and Google a song in that genre that deal with funk and play it and see if they know the words. If they know the words, that's your in. That's your in. Because if you got Apple Music, Spotify, that's what I'm saying. That's a good idea. If you got Spotify, any of those little local little music playlists, right? You can Google it, it's gonna put the words down. So you know what words to sing as they singing it. And it breaks it down for you. It may not even apply to a smell because funk is a feeling. Funk is an emotion. Funk in music itself is a groove, right? But if you get to bring the word up, then you can break down its dual entendreisms. You know? Yeah, it may mean a vibe in music. Would you say you just smelled yourself? I did it a couple times already. I already know I smell my deodorant. That's why though, because it's warming up here in the desert. And so now when I got my deodorant on, I know it's working because I smell it. I smell it through my shirt, and that's a good thing. That means I know I ain't funky. You know what I mean? Like that's real spit. If you can smell your deodorant, then that means one thing, your olfactory nerve is working. You can smell. You thank the heavens, you know. But two, that means it's working. It's working. So again, this is the idea. This is a way you can kind of bring this up to them. Conflicted but considering the cubicle, mainly because the fact that you said they have good taste in music. So that means you're aware of what genre of music that they enjoy. If they like a rap and R&B, then you got them. You got them hooked. You got 2 songs already. I just gave them to you. I gave you Funktified. I gave you Nothing But the Funk. You know, I'm pretty sure it's more of them. Like, you know, it's a bunch of them. It's a way you can metaphorically put these words and to paint a picture and let them know that, hey, it would behoove you if you washed in certain places. I'm just, you know, hashtag IJS. You know, I say either keep it real or keep it moving. Y'all know my saying. Either keep it real or keep it moving. So be this way, because apparently you care, Mr. or Miss Conflicted but considered in the cubicle. You care about this person enough to ask the homie 360, hey, how can I say something to them? How can I say something to them? You know, how do I be able to say, like, you know, hey, man, I need to be able to, like, knock some things out. You know? I need to be able to say, like, hey, bruh, I need you to be able to depreciate that sin. Because, like, if you in a spot, like, in public, let's just say jail, right? Say you in jail in Open Bay. It was a saying, like, if somebody on the toilet, I was like, hey, man, you good in math? They'd be like, yeah. I'd be like, why don't you add some water to that toilet to subtract the smell in this pod? You know what I mean? So hit them with some quirky, oh, I get the message. However they talk, however y'all communicate, because if he's close enough to you to say he got cool energy, he's smart, he funny, and got good best music playing in his headphones, you close enough. You in close enough proximity. That's 5 ends that you've had just based off finding out those things about him. So you've had your end. You've had your end, right? You've been able to say, hey, bruh, you killing me, dog. You killing me, Smalls. How do you say that to him? But find the music that they like and bring up the songs. That's a good way. I just came up with that one just a minute ago. That was a light bulb, you know? That way you're not making it attack. You're making it more of a heads up, bruh. Yo, D, heads up, you funky, dog. You're making my eyes burn. You're making my eyes burn. And that's all you really got to look at it as. So what did we talk about? We said, hey, if people talking behind this person's back, you know, you've been around them enough to say either, hey, bro, if y'all got a problem with it, talk to him. Because that's probably what I would say sometimes. If I rock with the person and I hear people whisper behind their back, You know, I'm not gonna say it in an aggressive way to them. They be like, hey man, you smell D, man. I'd be like, tell him about it. I'd be like, tell him, don't tell me. I'll say it like that. Tell him, don't tell me. And then that'll put them on like, oh man, maybe I shouldn't be talking about this person behind their back, right? And I get that. You know what I mean? Yes, I do, BB. I do appreciate everybody's support. You know, I get all of that in regards to saying, hey, let me pull you to the side. So that's the first thing. You've been close enough to him to have these ends. And consider it, if you were the person on the other side, would you want somebody to tell you? And the answer probably is 99.9% of the time, yes. But you'd also want them to tell you with couth, and you want them to tell you with a little consideration. What's going on? There goes Tiff. You'd want them to tell you with a little bit of, you know, cushion to come along with it, because this could be a hard blow to not know that you the stanky person at work. That could be a gut punch. That could send somebody into a spiral that they didn't know that they were about to head into because they didn't know the effect it would have on them, right? So you have to be ready and willing and able to deliver this message with the proper intention, right? You know, you have to find the right moment, okay? And you got to lead with love. That's all. Leading with love is giving that compliment sandwich that we talked about. We talked about it. Hit them with the, hey, man, you know, I respect you, and I don't want you to get caught off guard by this. Then you stank, this, whatever, however you want to give it to him. You know, sing the Funktify song, however you do it. Then hit him on the end, like, you know, this way. I just want to make sure we good. You know, I want to make sure that I want nobody talking behind your back. You know, you said Naya taught you about leading with love, and that's it. Sometimes you out of the mouths of babes. Kids teach us a lot of stuff a lot of times. You know. If we listen, you know, and honestly, you might be the one person who saves him from being that guy. You know, you might be the one that says, hey, saves him from being the stinky dude at work, right? And that could save him for the rest of his career. He may go somewhere and never stank again because you put him on game. All right? So to my considerate homie in the cubicle out there, I say go for it. Be brave, be kind, and above all, make sure you be real. Be real with this person, okay? That's all we got for today, everybody on Holla at the Homie. As always, you say no sound? Oh, damn, my sound went out because the phone rang. But that's all we got for the rest of the day, y'all. So until I breathe on y'all again, take care of yourselves and take care of each other. I'm 360 the Poet. I'm going to holla at y'all in a minute.
Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. High 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot702.5fm.com.